The main role of emergency management is planning. We don't direct any emergency response. We coordinate response and provide resources to the first responders, fire, EMS, and law enforcement. But my main role as emergency management director is planning. And so I plan for the next emergency, what's going to happen tomorrow, and then I try to plan for a year and 2 and 5 years down the road, trying to foresee situations that could present a problem. Climate change and in special circumstances here in Beaufort are sea level change. We've seen the sea level rising. We've got the documentation, the historical documentation to prove something along the lines of about a foot over the past 80, 85 years. And what that's doing is it's inundating some of my roads on regular king tides and even on some spring tides, where we're seeing 6, 8, 10, 12 inches of water on the roadways during the period of the high tide. I have to run emergency vehicles through that. So we have to plan strategically. If we know that a road is certain to be inundated, do we want to pre-position a vehicle on the other side of it if we have the number of calls for service that would dictate that? Or in some cases, we're having to work with county planning and we're getting to a point where we're having to condemn houses because we can no longer provide emergency services to those houses. And so they're no longer viable residences, either as vacation homes, second homes, rental homes, or primary homes in a couple of cases. So we're trying to look at that and plan ahead for those kind of circumstances. When we deal with tropical storm scenarios, sea level rise is affecting us in that a number of our causeways connecting our bridges, Beaufort County is a county of islands and we live and die by bridges. They're very close to sea level already. Doesn't take a lot of water to get up on the roadways, and then I lose the only evacuation routes. I only have 3 that get my residents out of the county. If I lose any one of those, I'm in real trouble. And so if a storm is close enough to the coast that it's already affecting the tides, I try to have the evacuation plan is built so that we'll have everybody out of the way before that happens, but we have what we call pop-up storms that occur right off the coast and we've got to react in a big hurry. We don't have the 5 and 6 day lead time. If I lose one of those roads, I'm in real trouble. I don't have a lot of alternatives. I can push people, if it happens south of Broad River, I can push people north and work an already overloaded road. But those concern me. And then moving resources back in, any post-disaster that we've had water inundation, we live in an in-time delivery lifestyle. Everybody relies on a truck to arrive tomorrow. The grocery stores, the Walmarts, everybody. If the truck doesn't come tomorrow, their shelves are empty. If I've lost a causeway, I cannot get those trucks in here. And then the people that are here don't have the resources they need. So I try to plan, come up with alternate, try to foresee. My biggest challenge is to foresee the issues and then try to reach out to all the resources that are available to come up with a solution. I incorporate the South Carolina Emergency Management Division into all our planning. Now, I work for the sheriff, who's an elected official, but we work closely with state emergency management. We work closely with State Department of Transportation because they have the resources that address those issues. We are working with NOAA. State Emergency Management has a climate change function within its program now, and so I work through them, and then they can reach out to state and national resources that I don't necessarily have a direct line to. We have had some issues. Beach erosion has been a major concern for a number of years, and as more storms and more aggressive storms have passed by the coast, they don't necessarily impact inland. We don't have the rains and the trees down, this sort of thing, but it affects the beaches, and I worry about that. We've lost a lot of Hunting Island. We've lost a lot of the campground. We've lost entire parking lots that the folks use. There were about 30 cabins on Hunting Island. Erosion has taken all but 2 of them. They're gone now. We have homes on Harbor Island, which is a private residential community. We have homes on Fripp Island, again a private residential community, homes on Hilton Head, and homes on Defusky Island that all have been severely impacted by beach erosion, to the point where several of them have had to be condemned by county building codes because they're in danger of collapsing into the water, and we can't get rescue services to them over on Defusky, for example, and on Harbor, several of the houses there that are in danger. We can get resources up to them if they collapse, but you don't want someone to be inside a house that collapses, that you know might collapse. There is some pushback because these are these people's homes. They're their dreams. Even if it's not their primary home, that's their dream home. They built it to be on the beach, to enjoy the quality of life that we have here in Beaufort County. And it's a hard issue to deal with when you tell someone no and they don't like it. And of course, at the local level, we're the first level of response. We're the first level of folks they can reach out and touch. And so we take some grief from them, and I have taken some grief recently from some homeowners. And I'm not really the one telling them no, but I'm relaying the no message from other people. And it goes with the territory. I have to shoulder it. But it is difficult. And you do sit there and wonder, is there any other option besides telling them no? And when you've explored all those and you still come back to no, then you tell them no. And then they have to sit back and decide, you know, do I sell, do I demolish, what do I do? Absolutely, the distrust of the population of government is a problem, and I'm not going to go into the national level. We're all watching this presidential cycle go, and I don't think anybody's satisfied with what they're seeing. But at the local level, at the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and Emergency Management Division level, we try very hard to do as many things as we can open. We host lots of open meetings, lots of community meetings. We invite people to stop by and ask questions so that we can explain to them and get an opportunity to get our message out there. And what we encourage, we're always disappointed when we have a public meeting and nobody shows up. And we take that as either they're very satisfied or they're so dissatisfied that they don't care. And we don't know which one it is. But like today, we had, I think I counted 45 people present. I would love to have seen it standing room only, because the last event that I was in that same room was standing room only. And it was when our American Idol came home on her victory tour, and it was standing room only. But I think that, you know, everybody talks about transparency, and it's a really catchy buzzword. You've got to really practice it. And the Sheriff's Office, we do twice a year what we call Citizens Police Academy, 10 weeks of one session a week, where we bring everybody in, the finance people, the planning people, the operations people, and they tell the class. And those classes are always full, 25, 30 people. We've trained about 2,000 people now through that. And we give them an opportunity to ask any question you want to. That's how we will get past the vilifying of government, at our level at least. And then the others, they've got to learn that. The state legislature, they have a gallery, but does anybody ever go sit and watch what they're doing? All the meetings are required to be public at every government level, but you go to county council meetings and the room's empty, unless somebody has a specific issue they wish to address, and then they leave. Getting involved is the answer to doing that. Government cannot de-vilify itself. We've got to have the folks come in and get to know us and then rebuild that trust with them from our standpoint.